Hey there, let me ask you something. Have you ever reached the end of the month, looked at your wallet or your bank account and wondered, where did my money go? You're not alone, especially if you're retired or living on Social Security. Every single dollar counts. And the truth is, most of us are spending money on things we don't actually need, just out of habit. Little things, everyday stuff that slowly drain your money without you even noticing. Today, I want to help you take that control back. In this video, we're going to talk about 7 simple things that many people over 60 keep spending money on, but really don't have to. These are not luxury expenses. They're small, common, and often overlooked, but cutting them out might make a big difference at the end of the month. And you know what? You deserve better. You've worked hard. You've earned your peace of mind. So, let's dive in and start saving without feeling like you're giving up the life you enjoy. 1. Paying for cable TV you don't really watch. I used to think cable TV was just a part of life, like milk in the fridge or the porch light coming on at night. You pay it, you forget it. But one day I was sitting in my living room, flipping through the channels like I always do, and it hit me. Out of hundreds of channels, I only ever watched maybe 3 or 4. The news, a few old westerns, and sometimes the Weather Channel. And yet, I was paying nearly $140 a month for it. That's $1,680 a year for background noise. Then I talked to my neighbor, Bill. He's 72, a retired bus driver. Bill told me he canceled his cable years ago. Now he uses a small indoor antenna, paid $20 once, and gets all his local channels for free. CBS, NBC, ABC, Fox, PBS, everything he really watches. I was shocked. He also uses a free app on his smart TV called Pluto TV, which has old shows, classic movies, and even game shows. All free. I couldn't believe it. What surprised me even more? There are government programs and nonprofit groups in some states that help seniors get discounted or even free streaming devices if they qualify for low-income assistance. I never knew that. And many cable companies actually offer senior discounts or low-income plans, but they don't advertise them. You have to ask, so I did the math. I dropped my cable and switched to internet only. I kept my Wi-Fi, added an antenna, and got a streaming service for $10 a month. Now I pay less than $50 a month total, saving me almost $1,000 a year. And I don't miss a thing. What I realized is this: a lot of us keep cable not because we love it, but because we're used to it. But times have changed. Technology has made it easier than ever to access what we want, for less. And when you're living on a fixed income, those savings are more than just dollars. They're peace of mind. That's groceries for the week, or medication, or gas money to see the grandkids. So if you're still paying for cable you barely use, just know you have options, real ones. And they don't require giving up the things you enjoy, just switching how you get them. 2. Overpaying for medications without realizing it. Let me tell you a story about my cousin Helen. She's 68, lives in Missouri, and has high blood pressure and arthritis, like a lot of folks her age. For years, she picked up her prescriptions at the same big chain pharmacy because, well, she trusted it. That's where her doctor sent it. She never asked questions. She just paid whatever was on the receipt. One month, her blood pressure medication cost her $92. The same month, I picked up mine. Same dosage, same type, for $17. And I didn't have any special insurance either. Here's the thing. Most people don't realize that prescription drug prices can vary wildly between pharmacies, even in the same town. And unless you ask, nobody tells you. Pharmacies don't price match like grocery stores. Some charge full retail price if your insurance doesn't cover it. Others give discounts automatically. It's a mess. That's when I introduced Helen to something called Good RX. It's a free app, totally free, that compares prices for your exact medication at nearby pharmacies. She typed in her meds, and just like that, found a store 5 blocks away that had the same pills for less than a third of what she was paying. No change in quality. Same pills, same strength, different price. But there's more. Many pharmacies offer special discount programs for generics. Walmart, for example, has a $4 generic list. CVS and Walgreens have similar savings plans. Even better, some community health centers and clinics offer free or deeply discounted medications if your income qualifies. But no one tells you this unless you ask. And don't get me started on mail-order pharmacies. Some people, especially those with chronic conditions, save big by ordering a 90-day supply through a reputable mail service. It reduces trips, and many times, the cost per pill is lower. Helen was stunned. She'd been overpaying for nearly 5 years, hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars gone, not because she was careless, but because she didn't know. And you know what? That's not her fault. We grew up trusting the system. But now the system is complicated. If you don't check, you lose. And when you're living on a fixed income, every dollar counts. That savings could mean a warmer winter coat, or just not having to skip a meal when prices go up. So here's my advice. Never just accept the price they hand you at the pharmacy. Use tools like GoodRx. Ask your doctor for generics. Compare prices. And if you feel overwhelmed, ask a friend or a family member to help. There's no shame in looking out for your money. You've earned every penny of it. 3. Buying too many cleaning products you don't need. If you're anything like me, there's probably a whole shelf under your kitchen sink filled with bottles. Glass cleaner, tile spray, toilet foam, oven degreaser, wood polish, disinfectant wipes. Some opened, some still new. I used to think I needed a different product for every little task. One for the floor, another for the counter, and a third just for the bathroom sink. But over time, I realized something. All those bottles, they were costing me money every single month. Not only that, they were taking up space, adding clutter, and truth be told, half of them didn't even work that well. I bought them out of habit, or because they were on sale, or because the commercial made it look like my whole house would sparkle. And sometimes, I didn't even use them before they dried up or expired. So I started doing something different. I went back to basics. A spray bottle with white vinegar and water does just as good a job cleaning windows and countertops as the expensive stuff. Add a little baking soda. Now you've got a scrub for your tub or your sink that won't scratch and won't stink. Dish soap and warm water. That's all you need for most surfaces. I'm not saying never buy store cleaners again. Some jobs really do need a stronger product, like mold spray or disinfectant. But most of the everyday messes we deal with don't require 6 different bottles and $10 a pop. Think about it. If you buy just 2 cleaning products a month, maybe wipes and some special spray, that's easily $15 to $20 gone. That's $240 a year. For what? For something you could clean just as well with items you already have in the pantry. And another thing I stopped doing, buying disposable wipes. I used to grab them because they were quick and easy, but they're expensive and they don't last. Now I use a few good microfiber cloths I can wash and reuse. It's a one-time buy, and they've lasted me for years. It's funny how we convince ourselves we need more to keep things clean. But the truth is, the simpler your supplies, the easier it is to clean, and the less money you waste. Cutting down on cleaning products isn't about being cheap. It's about using what works, skipping what doesn't, and keeping a little more in your wallet at the end of the month. 4. Holding on to an extra car you don't really use. There was a time when having 2 cars in the driveway made sense. Back when the kids were still at home, My wife and I needed separate schedules and sometimes even a third vehicle if one was in the shop. But now, the kids have long moved out, and most days, we don't even leave the house more than once. Still, for the longest time, that second car just sat there. And it wasn't just sitting quietly either. It was draining money. Between the insurance, the yearly registration, the oil changes, and the unexpected repairs that come with age, it was easily costing us over $1,000 a year. All for a vehicle we drove maybe twice a month. The turning point came last winter. The car battery died again, and the tires were starting to crack. I realized I was about to spend another $400 just to keep a car running that I didn't even need. That's when I finally asked myself, what am I really holding on to this for? Some of it, if I'm honest, was emotional. That car had memories. We took road trips in it. It was freedom once, but now it was a financial burden. So I made the call. Sold it to a neighbor's grandson who needed a starter car. The money helped, but more than that, the relief helped. One less insurance bill, one less worry. I didn't realize how much peace it would bring until it was gone. Nowadays, my wife and I share one car. We plan ahead. And when one of us needs to go out and the other does too, we just make it work. Or we wait. And honestly, it hasn't been a problem. On days when I don't drive, I walk more. Or I use the senior shuttle from our local community center. It's free and reliable. Letting go of the second car felt like giving up at first. But really, it was gaining back control. It's not about living with less. It's about living smarter. So if you've got a second car sitting around, ask yourself, when was the last time I really needed this? And if the answer's, I can't remember, maybe it's time to let it go. 5. Overpaying for cell phone plans without knowing it. My friend Rita is 71, lives in a small apartment just outside of town. One afternoon, we were talking about monthly bills, and she mentioned she was paying $89 a month for her cell phone. I was floored. I asked her, "What plan are you on?" She shrugged. "Same one I've had since my daughter put me on it 10 years ago. I think it's unlimited everything." I asked her how often she uses it. "Oh, I call my sister once a day, check the weather, and sometimes play solitaire," she said, laughing. That's when I realized something. A lot of us are paying for services we don't use, just because no one ever told us we had other options. These big cell phone companies are more than happy to keep charging you top dollar, even when you don't need all that data, texting, or international calling. I sat down with Rita and helped her look around. We found a company called Consumer Cellular, which is made specifically for seniors. They had plans starting at just $20 a month, no contracts, no hidden fees. She was shocked. Same with Mint Mobile and Tello. They offer basic plans for under $15 if you're mostly calling and texting. The truth is, if you're not streaming videos all day or using tons of apps, you don't need unlimited data. You probably don't even need half of what you're paying for. But the phone companies won't tell you that. You have to ask, or better yet, go looking for yourself. Some companies also offer discounts through AARP or low-income programs through Lifeline, which can even make your plan free or nearly free if you qualify. But again, no one tells you. And let's be honest, all the fine print and tech talk can be overwhelming, especially when you didn't grow up with smartphones. So what happened with Rita? She switched plans, cut her bill from $89 down to $25. And guess what? Her phone still works just fine. She still calls her sister, checks the weather, and plays her solitaire game. Nothing changed, except now she's saving almost $800 a year. That's her heating bill for the winter. I always say this: don't let habit drain your wallet. A phone is just a tool. It's supposed to make life easier, not more expensive. If you haven't looked at your phone bill in a while, take a minute today. Call your provider. Ask if you're on the cheapest plan for your actual use. Or get a friend to help you shop around. There's no shame in saving. In fact, it's one of the smartest things we can do. 6. Buying expensive gifts for family and grandkids. This one took me a while to admit to myself because it comes from a place of love. You want to give. You want to show your kids or grandkids that you care, that you're thinking of them. So, a birthday comes around and you spend $50, maybe even $100. Christmas? Forget it. By the time you buy for everyone, you've spent hundreds, sometimes more. I remember one year, I bought my granddaughter a brand new tablet for school. It was nearly $200. I thought I was doing something good, helping her, giving her something useful. But you know what happened? She thanked me, of course, politely, but then moved on, like it wasn't a big deal. That's when it hit me. The gift didn't matter as much as I thought it did. What she remembers more are the afternoons we spent together baking cookies or walking in the park, the times I listened to her stories or helped her with a puzzle. That is what she talks about now, not the tablet, not the toys, not the gift cards, and truthfully, I was stretching myself thin to buy those gifts. I'd skip meals or push off paying my phone bill just to afford something I thought I should give. That's not love. That's pressure. And it's a kind of pressure that too many of us carry quietly. The thing is, your value to your family isn't measured in dollars. It's in your presence, your wisdom, your stories, and your love. No one who truly loves you wants you to go without just to buy them something. Now, I keep things simple. I make cards by hand. I bake treats. I write letters. I take the time to talk. On birthdays, I might give $10 or $15 with a thoughtful note, and that's it. At Christmas, I set a firm budget. No guilt, no last-minute shopping sprees, just peace. Sometimes, I take the grandkids to the library or help them start a little craft project. They light up. It's not about the price tag. It's about the time and care. If you're spending more than you can afford on gifts because you feel like you have to, I'm here to tell you, you don't. And you're not alone. Many of us were raised to be generous, and that's beautiful. But being generous doesn't mean hurting yourself financially. Give from the heart, not from the wallet. You are already the gift. 7. Buying name brands. When generic works just fine. I used to believe that if something cost more, it had to be better, especially when it came to food, medicine, or household items. I mean, why else would the name brands charge more? Surely their cereal, their pain reliever, their dish soap must be stronger, tastier, longer lasting. Right? Wrong. One day, I picked up a bottle of store-brand ibuprofen. Same number of pills, same strength. It cost $4. The name brand? $9.99. I compared the labels. They were identical. The only difference was the fancy packaging. So I started trying more generics. Cereal, canned goods, cleaning supplies, even paper towels. You know what? In most cases, I couldn't tell the difference. And in some cases, I preferred the store brand. Less sugar, less salt, better price. Here's what I've learned. Name brands pay big money to make you feel like they're better. Commercials, packaging, catchy jingles, all designed to win your loyalty and your dollars. But when you're on a fixed income, loyalty to a brand can quietly chip away at your budget. Let's say you're spending just $20 extra a week choosing name brands over generics. That's over $1,000 a year. $1,000. That's your heating bill, your groceries for a month, or a full emergency fund. Now, I'm not saying never buy a name brand. Sometimes, yes, there's a real difference in quality, and when it matters to you, go for it. But make it a choice, not a habit. Ask yourself, do I really need the one with the big label, Or is the store version just as good? Another tip? Try one generic item at a time. If it works, keep it. If not, you can always go back. But chances are you'll find that most store brands are just as good and much better for your wallet. Over time, I've learned that spending wisely doesn't mean being cheap. It means paying attention. It means valuing what you need, not what ads tell you to want. And at the end of the day, when you close your pantry and feel good knowing you saved without giving up quality, that's a good kind of power. Bonus tip: watch out for the little automatic payments. There's one more thing I want to talk about before we wrap up, and it's something a lot of people, myself included, don't even realize is happening. It's those automatic payments that quietly leave your account every single month. You know what I'm talking about. Maybe it's a music service you signed up for a few years ago, or a subscription to a magazine you don't even read anymore. Maybe a cloud storage fee, a digital game your grandchild once installed on your phone, or some old antivirus program from way back. They're small, usually $5, $10, maybe $15. But that's exactly why they slip under the radar. They don't scream, they don't ask permission, they just go, month after month. I found one on my statement not long ago, a $6 charge for a meal planning app I downloaded 2 years back. I'd completely forgotten about it. $6 may not sound like much, but multiply that by 12 months, then by 2 or 3 forgotten services, and you've suddenly lost a couple $100 a year for nothing. So here's what I do now, and I highly recommend it. Once a month, I sit down with a cup of tea and go through my bank and card statements. Slowly, carefully. If I see something I don't recognize, I circle it. I call the number or look it up online. If I haven't used it in over a month, I cancel it. Simple as that. You'd be amazed how many quiet little leaks you'll find. Leaks that are draining your hard-earned money for no good reason. And you don't need to be a tech expert to fix them. Just ask someone you trust to help if you're not sure how to unsubscribe. Remember, you don't need to pay for things you're not using. And no, you're not being cheap. You're being smart. That money belongs to you, and you deserve to decide where it goes. I want to say something from the heart, especially if you're still watching this and nodding along. I know it's not easy trying to stretch a fixed income. I know what it's like to worry about groceries, medication, heating bills, and still want to live with some dignity and joy. Sometimes, the world makes us feel like we're not enough unless we spend. But that's a lie. You are enough. Your worth isn't measured by what you buy, what you wear, or what you give away. Being frugal is not about living with less. It's about living with intention. About choosing what truly matters and letting go of what doesn't. About saying, I choose peace over pressure. Every dollar you save is a little more breathing room, a little more comfort, a little more freedom. Maybe it means you can treat yourself to something special next month without guilt. Maybe it means you don't have to worry so much when prices go up again. And more than anything, I hope you know this. You're not alone. There are so many of us, millions in fact, navigating these same challenges, learning as we go, finding strength in each other.